Hey y'all, Wild Weather here for liveweatherblogs.com. Here with a tropical update for tonight, August 21st. It's coming up 10:45 Eastern Daylight Time here. Looking over at the satellite here, we now have Tropical Depression 6, and as of 5 p.m., 11 north, 32.1 west. Winds were 30 west to 45 miles per hour. The movement was already to the west-northwest at 9,008 millibars, 76 inches. Here's a satellite, and you can clearly see it. Here is the circulation moving off to the west, northwest. Looks fairly healthy. Probably becomes Tropical Storm Danille tomorrow morning. The dry air that was in here earlier looks like it's going away a little bit. Still some dry on the northeast side, so um, we'll see. It probably will become a tropical depression, a tropical storm, rather, Danille tomorrow. Let's zoom in here. See if we can zoom in. Here we go. There's a close-up of it. Tropical Depression 6, moving off to the west-northwest. Let's see what I have in store. Look at the computer models. And the computer models, here they. And the computer models basically are going to take it off here to the west-northwest and then eventually recurve it more toward the northwest in time. Now I am noticing that the tracks are getting a little further west, so it is something to look at. I know the 18Z GFS had this coming a little bit more further west, but at a much farther northern latitude. Don't know if I want to buy that yet. At that far latitude up here in 35 to 40 north, it should turn out to sea pretty rapidly. So we'll see what happens with that. Model intensity, they have TD6 for tonight. And basically the ship's model wants to bring it up to a fairly formidable hurricane at 95 miles per hour within the 120 hours. All the other models are keeping it at 75 to 90 mile per hour hurricane, is somewhere in that range. One model here, the Wharf model, is going to want to hold it at tropical storm status. If it did hold a tropical storm status, it could get a little bit further west. So we'll have to watch, take a turn. Incidentally, here is the 5-day tracking chart on what will probably become Tropical Storm Danille at some point tomorrow morning. And the Hurricane Danille, you can see, is off to the northwest in the direction of Bermuda, but it'll probably turn before it gets to Bermuda on the east side there. Tropical storm status down in here. Then Tuesday it becomes a minimal hurricane, Category 1, and then by Wednesday and Thursday you're looking at Category 2 Hurricane Danille, probably out in the central Atlantic and really not harming anybody but the ships. The tracking of now this is interesting because the tracking of this makes it further to the west. So it's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on and see if it doesn't get as strong as they think. And if it doesn't, it might get a better chance to come further west, which potentially could mean maybe down the road it tries to scoot under one of the troughs coming off the east coast. But we'll know about that probably by the middle of next week. Here's the ensemble on T6. Trends ensembles are pretty consistent in wanting to keep this on a northwest track. All of them have branched out here and got west, but still well far east of the still, and probably would still turn to the north. And here's something wild in the Atlantic. We're going to take a look real quick at the water vapor map to see what stands in the way of future tropical storm Danille. And let's see what we got here. Take just a second. I'm going to go to the water vapor map. I'm going to do the 24-hour loop. And look at the Atlantic. And see what stands in the way of Tropical Depression 6, soon to be Danille. Alright, here, right here, spinning off to the west, and I will say it looks better now than it did earlier this morning in terms of what's going ahead. Dry air is moving in tandem, moving away from the system, and the system has a pretty good envelope of moisture around it, so it is going to probably move and continue to move in the general direction. You just follow the flow here, and eventually trough coming off the east coast. We'll probably pick it up and move it off to the east-northeast. We'll see in time. All I have for right now, watch Travel Depression 6, soon to become Tropical Storm Danielle, and probably Category 2 hurricane on the road. Alright, this is all. Everyone have a great night.